the gold board because today, in collaboration with the National Security, they've arrested 3 Indians for engaging in illegal gold trading. The suspects were arrested at Enyinem in the eastern region with gold bars, stash of cash, and money counting machines. This latest arrest follows an earlier one on April 29, 2025, involving 3 other Indian nationals. Head of Public Relations at the Ghana Gold Board, Prince Minka, at a press conference this afternoon, said the 3 recently arrested individuals will face the full rigors of the law.
The arrest occurred before the 30th of April. I remember at that time it was not the deadline, so the arrest occurred before the deadline, and because of that, they've been allowed to go back to their country of origin and reunite with their family. But for the latest bust which has occurred, for them, they will face the full rigors of the law, just like the initial one or the first batch. They were caught flouting our laws. And with them, per the arrest, and what we got to know were, some, gold counting machines and some dollars as well, cash also with them as well. And these things have been confiscated, and they are going to be made to face the full rigors of the law. As I've said on some of your platforms, if you're a foreigner and you're caught trading within the local gold trading industry, which is now the sole reserve of the gold board, you will be made to face the law. So with this one, unlike the first batch who have been given a grace or a pat on the back whilst warning them, they will be made to go back to their home country. But for the second batch, they will be made to go walk the mile. In fact, they'll face the full rigors of the law. So like we did with the initial one, they'll go to court, and then when the judgment is passed, what will follow will follow. So this is a warning to every foreigner in Ghana. The rules are simple. Local gold trading industry is the sole reserve of the gold board. If you're a foreigner and you want to trade, you want to offtake gold, the silver lining here is for you to write to the gold board an LOI, and then you come do a negotiation, and then we'll help ship the gold for you. And for the locals, for Ghanaians, you are expected to as well apply for any of our licenses so that you'll be able to have that full protection from the gold board.
That's the head of public affairs at Ghana Gold Board, Prince Minka. He joins us on the line. Mr. Minka, good evening to you. Thank you very much. And I must say that that's been a very busy week for the Gold Board. 3 more arrests.
Yeah, three more.
How did this happen? Walk us through the process.
Okay, so the initial arrest that we spoke about was actually happened prior to the deadline that we issued. You remember that we said that by the 30th of April, foreigners are supposed to exit the local gold trading industry. Mm-hmm. So prior to that particular day, which is the deadline, 30th April, we conducted that particular arrest. Now, we announced at the press conference of that arrest and indicated the actions that were meant to follow. But today, after the latest arrest of another 3 Indian nationals, we decided to let the world know that, upon hindsight, because the first batch were arrested prior to the deadline that we issued, we've decided to let them go back to their country of origin, which is India. And the 3 that were arrested recently will be made to face the law, meaning that they'll go to court, as you played in the soundbite that you played. So they'll go to court, and then when the judgment is passed, they'll be made to face the punishment that will come after.
Do we know when they're going to court?
We'll be doing that announcement much later. But for now, we just wanted to indicate and then take advantage and issue a warning to any foreigner that, look, the local gold trading industry is a sole reserve of gold board. And unless you're a Ghanaian, you cannot play a role within the industry.
Were they working alone, and how did they come by the gold bars?
That's quite an interesting question. The initial batch, the first batch who are going to be deported, they were working with a certain Ghanaian called Salifu.
Okay.
And they were plying their trade between Kumasi and Accra. And the latest arrest that we've made those 3 Indians as well. I'm told per the investigations that they were plying their trade between Nyinam in the eastern region and then Kumasi. But it is not clear as to whether there were any local collaborators, unlike the first batch of Indians that we arrested.
Okay.
But we only want to highlight the involvement of the foreigners within the space and how we are bent on ensuring that we clear the space of foreigners and allow the laws of Ghana to work.
Okay. It's quite interesting, smuggling, because in Nyinam and Kumasi, you have a lot of police stops. So how were they trying to smuggle and they thought they weren't going to be found out?
That baffles me as well. But, I mean, based on intelligence, just as it happened with the other case, the national security and our task force were able to get a wind of their activities. I don't want to disclose too much, because this is a security sensitive issue, and the more you disclose how of it, the more you give ammunition to them to find other ways of going around it. But they should be aware that we see them and we are coming after them.
Okay. I don't know whether you've weighed the bars yet and the cash, how much it is, money counting machines, gold bars. How much was the state going to lose? Do we know how many bars they are?
Oh, I'll get that briefing, and then we'll do that in our subsequent communique that we'll issue to the public. For now, the focus has to be on the latest arrest that has been made, which is these 3 Indians, who, unlike their fellow 3 Indians, will not be deported, but they'll face the laws of Ghana.
Before you go, I mean, because this is going to be a subject of a court discussion, you might not want to put a lot of things there, but the essence of this arrest and the success you've chalked, as we would want to put it, what signal should it send to people who want to do an illegality in this trade?
Well, the signal that should send to people who want to engage themselves in any form of illegality is that we see you, and that we will not give chance when that moment comes, when we catch you, and just go by the latest rules, which is that if you're a Ghanaian and you want to ply your trade in gold, apply for a license from the gold board. So for any Ghanaian, there are 4 categories of licenses. We have the aggregator license, the self-financing aggregator license. We have the buyer license tier 1, buyer license tier 2, and all these you can apply for them on our website, goldboard.gov.gh. It will take you to an application portal where you get to apply for the license. And for any foreigner, the procedure is quite simple. All you need to do is to write a letter of intent, and then a conversation will be had in terms of negotiation. Then a memorandum of understanding is signed, and then we'll ship your gold for you. Very simple, lay down rules and regulations. Abide by them, and you'll be fine.
Ms. Aminka, grateful for your time this evening. That's the head of public affairs at the Ghana Gold Board, Prince Minka. Well, still on gold. Today, the police made some arrests. They are appealing for more public support in the fight against illegal mining activities. They say they've taken extensive action in key mining areas that have resulted in more than 200 illegal miners arrests and the seizing of equipment. According to the police in a statement, there are ongoing operations spanning key mining hotspots to curb the environmental devastation caused by unlawful mining activities. A targeted anti-galamsey operation in Samraboy, Wasadunkwa and Tigari Krom nearby communities have also led to the arrest of 58 suspects, 50 of whom are Ghanaians and 8 Chinese nationals. Dr. Engineer Kenneth Ashigbe is the leader of the coalition, media coalition against illegal mining, or Galamsey. Doc, good evening to you. Thank you very much for your time on 505.
Thank you very much.
Well, there's arrests that are happening. Will we say that we are on course to maybe arresting illegal mining?
Well, I think we need to congratulate the IGP, the Minister for Land, to some extent, the Minister for Defense, and then the Minister for Interior, for the effort that is being put in terms of all of these arrests and seizures. But the interesting thing is that as I commend the Minister of Interior, in the same breath, the question I'll be asking, these 8 foreigners, are they going to be deported in flagrant
disregard for the
ignorance of the laws of this country, specifically Act 995? Why is it that we are discriminating against ourselves in our own country? You won't go into China and go and even think about what they come and do here, and then you will come back into our country. But we think that our prisons are bad, that these foreigners cannot be sent to jail, but we Ghanaians can be jailed. That definitely is a difficulty. Then you also have the question you also should be asking is that what has happened to these people who are being arrested? How many of the key things are in this? We are in this country where the Minister for Land and Natural Resources, working with his other colleagues, found out that Akunta mining is involved in an illegality. You know, this is a company that we had petitioned the IGP long ago. But up to date, I know the Minister for Land would have done all they have to do. But the question to the Attorney General and to the IGP, why are people like Akunta mining still, working, and we've not heard of any arrests that are being made and any cases that are going to go to court? So as we comment these activities that are happening, other questions that we should be asking. There are so many of them. The reason why they all could be engaged in this illegality is because we've not activated the tracking. The government itself, the Ministry of Land and its agency, the Minerals Commission and UMAT, have a sophisticated tracking system that is working. We need to make sure that these excavators, whether they are forfeited to the state or whether they are given back to the owners because the court has declared so, they should all be tracked immediately. And we should make sure that all the 7,000 or so excavators that are in the system already are tracked. As we speak at the port, there are about 308 excavators sitting at the Tema port. All of these excavators should not be released to their owners unless they are tracked.
And that warning came from the DVLA CEO. He says that until they do that, they are not going to release it. So it looks like there's that collaboration between the government, DVLA, among state institutions to ensure that these excavators do not end up in areas that are not supposed to mine.
I think that's a good thing to hear, because I know that the systems that have been put together by the Mineral Commission and the UMAT has the ability to be integrated with the DVLA system. They also have models for the law enforcement agencies and all of that. These are really very sophisticated systems that would ensure that these excavators, once they are sent into the field, they can actually map them to the concessions that they are supposed to be working on. If it's even roads that they are working on, they can be mapped to those particular roads. And then we will then ensure that they don't, if they go beyond it, they are immobilized. If somebody tries to tamper with the tracking equipment, we'll be able to locate the last place it was. And then the law enforcement agencies will be able to deal with it. So I think that's an important thing, and it's a good step that the DVLA is taking with the Minerals Commission to get this done.
Again, we've been here before. We make some arrests, like you say, and then before we look at it, it looks like we've gone back 2 steps And then once we take one step forward, whilst we are doing this collaborative efforts, what more do you think should be done to ensure that we can finally win the fight against Galamsey?
Well, there are a few things that have been said in the past that still remain undone. One of the first things that this government needs to do is His Excellency's promise that he made to Ghanaians that he was going to revoke LI 2462. That has to go. This particular posture of, we will just amend and then we would amend the Parent Act, Minerals and Mining Act, it does not wash. That has to go. The president himself, and when he was evaluating his 120 days, considered that there are about 2 of the forest reserves that we have not been able to reclaim. The state of emergency in those places and on the water bodies that are continuing, we definitely need to bring that on board. The issues of fast-track court, so that these people that have been arrested, immediately we can arraign them before court and prosecute them and take a leave out of what the UK has done. And within 24 hours, make sure that these people are dealt with. Then the elephant in the room is the politically exposed persons that we don't seem to want to touch. One of them is Akonta Mining, the former, the NPP Ashanti Regional Chairperson, is one of the board members of that company. There is enough evidence for that company and its directors to be brought before court. We don't know why that is not being dealt with. Well, there are other politically exposed persons, like the NPC MP for our win, who has been accused by traditional authorities of being engaged in Galamsey that he said is not. Why is that we petitioned that His Excellency the President? We've not heard anything from that, apart from the presidency conceding that they received it. The NDC constituency chairperson for Azim and Dungwa, they are all being accused of being complicit in Galamsey. Why are we not dealing with them? We need to deal with the politically exposed people, the kingpins who are involved in this Galamsey. If we don't do that, the effort of the Minister for Land and Natural Resources would come to naught.
Oh, Akonta Mining denied the allegations. They said they are going to court because the government has revoked their license. We'll see how that pans out in court. Doc, very grateful.
But I think it's important that when you deal with the issues of Akonta Mining, there is an old petition. The former Minister for Land and Natural Resources stated clearly that Akonta Mining did not have a permit to be in the Tanani Forest Reserve. There is ample evidence, including photographic and video evidence, of the equipment in the Tanani Forest Reserve. If even we say that the current, charges that have been leveled by the current Minister for Land and Natural Resources, there are issues with it. There is still that old charge. Why is it that we are not seeing an arrest? And then we are not seeing him coming and answering charges at the police station and being prepared to go to court. Till we start dealing with these politically exposed people, these people who are close to power, these people who are influential, who can buy all of these excavators, we will not get to the bottom of it. Okay. I would be asking the Minister for Land that he should publish the names of all the owners of all those excavators that we found in the theater of these criminalities. Let's publish the names as owners. That will not be accusing them of anything. They will be saying that the equipment has been found in those particular places. That is the beginning of the name exchange.
Doc, I appreciate your time with us this evening. Dr. Engineer Kenneth Ashigbe is convener, Media Coalition Against Galamsey. So